Welcome to the B6.
Oh, we
Welcome
on the
back.
bus. Welcome to B6. What's going on, man?
Another day, another dollar. That's what they
Yeah,
say,
man.
right? Another day, another dollar.
Yeah, man. I mean, I don't know with this economy. I don't know about that one.
It might be 50 cent and a dollar. And another dollar is another 50 cent. So we
Yes,
got we
sir.
got we got inflation for the topic. I brought it to you because it's actually at the grocery store when I brought it to you. I'm like, just try to figure things out because like I was saying in the text, I was like, why 2 weeks in a row now I've been going in my savings. I'm like, why am I going in my savings? Like, what the hell are we doing wrong? So we combing through our finances and we going through where our money going, and come to the conclusion that at least 1,400 of it is going to our groceries per month. So in my household, it's four of us, two kids, two adults, and we don't eat meat. But again, it's everything is expensive. So that's not really affordable. That's kind of like a crisis. Like
You
I'm
said
like
1,400 for how many people?
four people, just groceries
That's two
monthly.
adults, two children,
Yep.
no pets.
I got no pets, man. Like, and
No, I just want people to know, like,
yeah, bro, that's more
fourteen
than
hundred
my
dollars.
mortgage. My mortgage is 1,200, so I shouldn't be spending $1,400 a month on food. Like that doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
So I'm like, like what could I cut? I'm like, but this is kind of ridiculous. And like I said, we don't even eat meat. Well, most
Mm-hmm.
of us don't eat meat, and we buy a little meat for my kids, but that's like once a week we buy a meat. We buy meat for them. Like we cook on Sundays
Yeah.
for them, and then we'll eat meat. Ah, I'm just trying to like, is it affecting everybody? Because I actually had a conversation with my site manager, and he mentioned like the way the grocery bills are, but I never like sat. I never looked at prices when I buy food. I just buy food. I
Mm-hmm.
never looked how much I'm spending on groceries. I go to our grocery store is Publix. I go to Publix every day. Not every day, but I seem like every day I'm in there. If I need something, I go buy it.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Yo, the grocery bills, is expensive." He said, even without meat, because I don't eat meat. So he made
Mm-hmm.
that comment. I'll say, yeah, I noticed, I noticed that like me and my wife, we stopped eating out, and we still spending a lot of money. I'm trying to figure out why we spending a lot of money, but I never did the calculation when he made that comment. And a week or two later, it's like I finally sat down and just did the math. Like, how much are we spending on grocery?
Mm-hmm.
And just it's $1,400, and that's just groceries. That's not buying takeout for the food for
Are
for,
you
for the kids.
are you the sole person that goes to get the groceries, or y'all just like whoever needs to go, they go?
Whoever needs to, but let me tell you how it works. It's mainly my wife. And when I was at the grocery store, I wasn't even in the grocery store. I was in the car waiting for her. I didn't even want to go inside because she's faster. I'm like, I would just slow you down and I'll add more stuff
Right.
to the bill. But we normally we use, I don't know if you have Kroger, so
Yeah.
we do delivery with Kroger. So like on Friday, they deliver groceries to our house, and whatever Kroger don't have on Saturdays, we go to Publix and do grocery. That's what we decided on, like to just go twice. Because
Mm-hmm.
usually during the week, if we need something, all right, what do you need? I'll just go and get it. After I drop the kids off, I go to the grocery store, pick up whatever. But for the past 2 weeks, it was like, okay, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna keep going to the grocery store. We're just gonna go once or twice for the week. Just gonna have like a whatever. If we don't have something, we're gonna do it out until it's time to go again. But even doing that, it's like we spent like 160, 165 Kroger, then we spent like 200 at Publix. Like this is just 1 week. And we still probably gonna be out of something, but our goal is not to go throughout the week to the store, spend more money.
And the crazy thing is, you got growing kids. That bill is just gonna keep going up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. My son, he eats a lot. Like he eats a lot.
Yeah, and he's 14,
he's 15. He eats a lot.
15 years old, so he's only gonna eat more.
Yeah. I told my wife I'm just gonna be drinking water and like, yo, I'm not in crackers. Like, what the hell? It's like, what could we cut? I'm like, okay, I like certain items. I'm like, okay, I can do without that. Okay, that's $14. It's like, yo, I got a long way to go. I'm like, bro, I'm just gonna do it out, man. I'm like, that's ridiculous. I'm not $1,400. I'm not spending more on my grocery than my mortgage. That's to me, that's a government crisis. Like people who not like the only people. I was like, how are people on my job? Like, how do they? When it comes to a lot of people on my job, they don't really make. We don't make a lot of money doing that job, and they probably on like government assistance, so they probably don't even like. I'm not on government assistance, so
You
I'm living
feel it
like a
better.
middle
You
class.
feel it
Yeah, I feel
more.
it because they don't, they getting paid for food stamps or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, so they're not seeing what I'm seeing or feeling what I'm feeling. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I'm just wondering how many people are feeling, that
I mean, we.
inflation.
I think we all feeling it, man. I know I'm feeling it for one. I'm sitting here listening to your story about the grocery thing. In my household, it's just me and my girl. I pay all the bills, and she usually goes grocery shopping. But every now and again, if she's staying at a mother house or she goes away for like the weekend or a week or something, I have to, take on everything. And there's a few times I went to the grocery store and I was like, what the hell, man? Is this what you spending every time you go to the grocery store? Or uh, yesterday, she texted me while I was at work and said, "We want to eat for dinner." I said, "I don't even matter. Just give me something." And I was like this close to saying I'll find something in the house because I know things is expensive. And she went and got oxtail, and I'm like, damn, she must really love me because the last time I went and got some oxtails, oh my god, it was like $30
Yeah.
for some large oxtails. I'm like, are you kidding me? So I had to text her because one time she noticed that I ate. Um, because sometimes when I'm at work, I'm so busy, I don't eat the whole day, and I'm hungry. So she noticed that I ate up the oxtails quick, and she bought me two the last time. So I'm like, you bought two, and I didn't say nothing. I just said it in my head. I'm like, I don't know any other person that would have did that. I'm not bragging on her or whatever, but I'm talking about her pain and that swipe. Like, unless she didn't pay attention, because sometimes I'm like you. If I need something, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna just swipe. There's a few occasions I'll talk about in a second that I'm like I'd actually noticed it. But point is, she bought two oxtails the last time. I had to text her, "Hey, I only need one." Because I don't want you to start looking at me like, this guy's expensive habit. Like, no, just get one. But anyway, while she was gone this past week, she's been gone. I've been having to go to the store and buy certain things, and I'm like, God damn! Look at the egg prices, man. Look at the cereal. I'm like, before you know, you buy like 5 items in your cart. This is $100. I'm like, or I don't know. Well, you got a Tesla. I'm still in the car. I switched my truck for a car, and I'm like, okay, I get a car for a little bit, save on gas, save on this, save on that. I went in the gas station as this pumping came out. I'm like, why is it 55? Why is it $55? And I never look at the prices. Like, I'm just like you. I mean, if I need it, I'm gonna get it. But I just couldn't believe. I was like, my tank was at like a quarter. Now, mind you, I'm putting premium in there, but like $55 for for a car, I thought that was a little extreme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's everywhere. It's not
Grocery bills, yeah.
just groceries. It's gas. It's I mean just everything. Everybody's trying to find a little way to make a little bit extras, man. I don't know. I mean,
Well, how could we cut, man? What could we cut? Like, is it like how do you survive like that? Like, honestly, that's not sustainable. I can't be going to my savings every time because of my freaking grocery or
I've
whatever else is
I've
causing it.
done it too. I've done it too. I felt it in certain areas where I was like, okay, I want to cut. some of my credit down, so let me pay this off. But now I got to pay the regular stuff, and I find myself every now and then going into savings. 1 month, I'm putting something in the savings. Next month, I'm pulling it right back out. It's like
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Hopefully, this is gonna the economy is gonna fix itself. I mean, on top of that, we got interest rates going up. I mean,
yeah,
you don't really feel it. You probably not really feeling it right now because you already got a house or whatever. But the
yeah.
new people that's out there trying to buy a house or move, everything is just so high. So
Yeah, how could
I
you
don't know
afford it? Yeah. I
for
think it's at
me,
7% for the mortgages right now. That's ridiculous. That's high. My
yeah,
mortgage is 3.5, so that's double my percentage, or double my interest. That's just ridiculous. Like your payment for the same, it's gonna be ridiculous. Your payment is gonna be a lot higher. Like one percentage
right.
point, it goes up a couple
And
$100. Like it's high.
I don't
It's
know if you
ridiculous.
know it. I mean, I don't know what your plans are. I mean, this house was a stepping stone for me that I'm in. I just didn't want to be paying rent forever. Uh, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna get this house until I get the house that I really want. And I'm paying 3% on the mortgage.
Yeah,
So I'm like at a tough spot. Like, should I wait? You know, and I'm gonna have to. I don't want to pay them 7%. I want to pay double, like you said, on a interest rate on a house. It's just insane, man.
I had a realtor told me because was looking into an investment, and she said, "Nah, this is not a time." A realtor, like yo, that's your business is to sell me the property, and she's telling me this is not the right time to buy. I'm like, shit, you could have just got me.
Wow.
Like you tell me this is not the right time to buy. But
Yeah.
I heard other things. I heard shit. Just take if the interest rate is 7%, still buy the home because you could always when the interest rate go down, you could always refinance the home.
Hmm.
So say a couple of years, 5 years from now, the interest rate go back down to 2-3%. If it ever does, you could refinance at that point and get the 2-3% rather than missing out on the price. Because if the interest rate goes down, guess what's going to happen? The prices of the home is going to go a lot higher. So
Right.
when you wait for that 2-3%, if you wait for that 2-3%, if you was going to pay $400,000-$500,000 on a home, it's probably going to be $600,000 by the time the interest rate go down. So it's like a double-edged sword. But I guess the smart thing to do is to probably buy now and refinance later. That way you get the low price now, and then later on you get the low interest rate.
Right.
Um, but it's difficult because everything is up. So as far as your debt to income, and you spending so much money on groceries, on gas, on everything else, it's hard to afford a home with a 7% interest rate. So that goes to no, go ahead. I don't want to ramble on. Go ahead, because I was going to
Well,
jump into something else a little bit. Not something else, but go
well.
for it. Yeah,
So I know for I was always just thinking for you. I mean, your household's kind of divided into somewhat eating healthy and not. You don't have the bill of eating meat, but you do have kids that do eat.
yeah,
So it makes it even difficult to be healthy. I mean, for me, I'm not the most healthiest person in the world, but I've been trying to cut my breakfast bill by drinking smoothies in the morning. But shit, even eating healthy and drinking
it,
smoothies is expensive, man. I mean,
it might be more expensive to be honest, because it's usually a lot of fresh stuff that you have to constantly buy. So if fruits and vegetables, they don't last that long. So
yeah.
and they're not cheap either, and you constantly having to buy it. So to me, honestly, when I became a vegan, the first thing I noticed my grocery bill was higher without the meat. And if you, I don't know if you ever noticed, but like when I go to my grocery store now, like the meat section is not that big anymore. Like I don't know if you ever noticed that. Like to me, the
Nah, I don't go to the grocery store like that, man. As I
bro,
told you, I go
well,
there.
when you do look at the meat section, I guarantee you, like I would think the meat section would have been a lot bigger than like the selection is not there for meat like how it used to be. Like that's what I noticed the other day.
Well, another thing is it's also depending on the day that you go. I can't say for myself that I noticed that the decrease on what's out there. I think people just buying it up um,
Well, no,
just to have it.
it wouldn't be because I'm talking about like the layout. Like so, it's a difference between whatever in the section having a little or a lot, but I'm talking about the
Uh,
actual size of the section. Like the section itself is like they only have a small section for meat. Before
yeah,
I remember the meat section was is like almost like the whole wall. Now it's like a half a wall. That's what I'm talking about
yeah,
when I talk about the meat.
yeah. That makes sense. I mean, being that everybody knows that the economy is bad and things are expensive, what they'll do is they'll put out what they know is going to sell, or
Right,
what in no sense of putting a bunch of stuff out there and it's expensive, it's just going to go bad. So that's how I'm looking at it and assuming. I don't know for
right,
sure.
right. You probably
Because, like I
right.
said, I don't really go to the store like that. But when I do, I'm always like, I have to make life choices, decisions. So I
Right.
want to eat.
Uh,
Do I want to eat this and suffer, or do I want to just save some money and just get something cheap? You know what I mean?
See, now I'm gonna have to start making those decisions. We were just thinking about I eat good. Like my lunch, I think my lunch. I don't eat out like buy stuff at lunch. I always bring my lunch to work, and it's always good food. We eat good, even for vegans. We eat good, and so I was like, I be seeing people at my job eat, those ramen noodles, taking it heated up. I'm
Nah,
like,
nah.
I made a joke. I don't even think I ever even had that. Maybe once as a child growing up in the hood, but I said to my wife, I'm gonna start eating that. I'll be seeing people eat it. I was like, nah.
Uh,
I said,
yeah.
nah,
It's
I
a
can't.
lot. There's a lot of sodium in there, man.
That's exactly what we. And I have high blood pressure, bro. So I was like, y'all shit gonna kill me. It's like, so
Mm.
I can't do that. But definitely got to figure it out. Like we are pretty smart when it comes to our bills and our like we don't really like we cook. We don't eat out. Like my wife will make lunch for me. Like she made lunch for me for 2 days, and then she'll cook
So,
again, and she make lunch for me for another 2 days. So I work 4 days a week. So I'm eating leftovers, which you think that's smart, economically, to eat leftovers rather than
mhm.
takeout. I'm doing that, and my bill is still $1,400. Like, bro, like that's crazy. Like I gotta figure out what could we cut, but then how much could you really cut to bring it down from
you,
14 to what?
you know what's crazy? You sit here telling your bill of how much you paying. I have no idea what my chick's paying. I
I'm
have no
saying
idea. But if you're complaining, I know in the back of her mind. And then every now and again, she does say, "Hey, we need to be more conscious on how we're eating because a lot of times when we don't cook, we eat it out."
yeah,
So if she's saying it every now and again, I know she's
no,
feeling it.
yeah,
It's a
yeah.
problem.
So that's another thing because my wife was like, "Oh, I'm glad you finally see it." I'm like, you've been seeing this and you haven't said or do anything? Like
Yeah.
that's crazy to me. Like you knew we were spending that much. She's like, I didn't know the exact amount, but I know it's expensive or whatever. I'm like, bro, like how hard it is to just sit down and see how much is coming out your account. Do the math, add it up, and see. And you're like, okay, $1,400. That's ridiculous. Like that's
I
more than
mean,
our
but at
mortgage.
the
We
end,
can't continue to do
at the
that.
end of the day, I mean, she probably not saying nothing. Just like my girl don't say much, or she'll say it every now and again. Is that what are you going to do about it? Starve to death? It has to get paid. It has to get bought.
Nah,
So
that's the wrong
you
attitude, man.
all right. Well, we
Gotta
go.
do something.
It's
I ain't
two
about doing
options.
nothing.
It's two options. You could starve or you could
Nah,
steal it.
I don't know the answer, but I know I'm gonna make a little some type of sacrifice. Maybe I'll get it down to 1,000 or 1,200. It's still better than 14. That's ridiculous to me, man. Like I gotta get it
Y'all,
down.
maybe you have to downgrade and get like the off-brand stuff. I don't know
That's
what
it.
you get.
I don't even like to do that. I never like to get like the store brand stuff. And they have a store called Aldi's or whatever that you get like fresh stuff, but it's not like name brand like you said.
Right.
Like it's like they don't have any like name brand. I never even been in all these, but apparently they bought when Dixie they bought like they coming up, like they coming all around and they they're famous for like cheap items but quality. But I never been in there. I don't know. I never shopped there, but I might have to freaking shop at all these because we got to make some sacrifice, man. Like it's. it's some tough times. But like the government, I said to my wife in the car, honestly, like I don't know where we at with the election. I know 2024 is the presidential election, and I believe I don't pay too much attention, but I believe old ass Biden is running again. I voted for him. He's a Democrat. I'm a Democrat. I didn't like Trump, you know. Um, but and Biden, if you listen to it, I ain't voting for you. Just ain't voting for you. You
I
hurting my pockets, bro. Like
think
you
everybody's
gonna be the
thoughts.
guy to take the blame. You the man. You the president. Okay. If you have a company and the company ain't doing good, you know
I'm
the
not a political
CEO,
person. I don't like
you taking
debates
the
that
hit,
much.
bro. I'm
But
not voting for him. Even if
what
Trump run against him, I ain't voting for
you
Biden.
vote for Trump?
I'll vote for Trump over
Wow.
Biden. Yeah, you might have. Yo, yeah, Democrats got to pick somebody else.
I was talking to one of my coworkers that is a big Democrat voter. I've always been a Democrat voter. It's always just been like I think just by default, people we were around, how we came up, we always voted Democrat. My old coworker made a good point about the way the market goes. So we wrote Republican, and it just seems like everything is doing better. And then when we go back to Democrat, everything that Republican did, the new elected president gets the fault for it. Make sense?
Yeah, I get it. The same thing when Bush was before Barack, but you have
Right.
you have 8 years, bro. Like that's not excuse. Maybe the first 4 years could be you trying to undo,
So,
fix whatever was
so let
broken.
me ask you this: when Barack was in, do you think it got better or was it declining?
I don't remember, man. I know I don't remember.
Well, I will tell you this because my boy told me this, and I respected his opinion. And I was like, maybe he has a point. But now I'm listening to you. You said you had 8 years for us to see a difference. It's just crazy. I was making some of my most money when
Trump was in
Trump
office.
was Trump was in office.
Me too.
And then as soon as Trump came out, it just
Yeah,
what I will say, because again, I don't want to turn this into a political conversation because we was talking about inflation, but inflation has to do with who's in office,
yeah.
because it's major decisions. I mean, we got to do business with people outside of the country, and if we get beef with them, there's war, and now you're paying more for gas because now we can't get the oil from them. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way he talks and does things. Talking about Trump is why everybody that was non-white
I
didn't
just
like
won't
him.
turn. I won't turn on the TV anymore, bro. I'll
Well,
just
but then you got to ask yourself: I'm voting for a guy that's have all these accusations and is clearly guilty of these things, maybe going to jail, and you're gonna put him in office.
what we gonna do? Like I'm not.
Huh?
He. It's better than he hurt my pockets. I
No,
don't know
but
how to tell you.
but then it
It's
makes
like,
but then it makes it into like a race war, and I don't want
because we,
that.
we we make it into that. I
No,
I
but
I, I
look when
had
he was getting out of the office. Like they was rushing the White
bro.
House,
Let me
and
tell you.
who got arrested? Who went to jail? Who really suffered?
Look, let me tell you. Like
If it was a bunch of black people running up in there, what do you think was gonna happen?
I don't know if Trump is the cause of that or racist, but you could argue that, and he said it himself. And I'm gonna sound like a Trump guy. I'm gonna sound like a Republican in a second because he said these words, and I'm about to echo it. But is it possible Trump did more for black people than Biden did for black people? Is it possible? I
I,
mean, I
I
know personally, like my pockets was better under Trump, and it's not under Biden. So, um, I don't. I mean, I'm sure there's other policies or other things that Biden probably did for black people, but all black people is not in jail. All black people is not on food stamps. So whatever Biden is doing, he ain't helping this black man. Like he might be helping another black man, but
Or is
I
it possibilities that things is going up because we're trying to fix what Trump did, like putting us in debt?
nah, bro, nah. I like I said, you was making more money under Trump, so what kind of debt you were in?
I'm talking
It,
about overall. Like, I mean, the country.
bro, let me tell you, with the Republicans, let's leave Trump out of it for a second because I was just my daughter has some schoolwork and she's learning about um, the legislative branch and the judicial. You remember that stuff in school and the execution branch and stuff like that. So the president doesn't make the laws. So let's take Trump out
Right.
of it. So the
Hmm.
congressmen's the legislative
But he
branch.
gets to pick his elected officials.
Well, those people don't make the laws either. We vote the people who make the laws. We vote the Democrat, the senators and the congressmen. Trump just picks the president just pick his cabinet people who he wants to work with him. So the
Hmm.
people who's making the laws, we're the ones voting them in. Our senators, our congressmen, or whatever that we local people. They make the laws. So when a Republican have majority, when a Republican have like the office and have like the final say because the president could always veto whatever laws that they come up with. But when there's more majority Republicans, they tend to favor business and people, rich people. So they have Republicans just have a philosophy that if you take care of the rich, they would employ more people, they would build more business, they would have more jobs so people could have a job and afford to take care of their family. So if you take care of the top, it will trickle down to the poor. That's the Republican philosophy. So as Republicans, they create laws to help business. So they would have like deregulations. People make it easier, take out the red tape, make it easier for a business to succeed. And the stock market, they love that. So like when Trump is in office, Republicans in office, the stock market usually do better because they like the deregulation. They like the less red tape. They like it helps business. And the stock market is about investing in business, investing in companies. And the Republicans, that's what they push. So ultimately, the economy does better. The Democrats just have a whole different approach. You help the poor bottom up. You take care of the poor, people who can't help themselves, you help them. You know, you give them food stamps, you give them free education, free this, free that. But not everybody like, it doesn't go all the way up. It doesn't reach me. It doesn't reach me. If a Democrat is helping from the ground up, it doesn't reach me. If a Republican is helping from the top up, it's like I'm in the middle, right? And I feel like I'm closer to the top than I'm closer to the bottom. So if a Republican is in office, I feel like it helps me. If a Democrat is in office, I feel like it's not helping.
What did you? Guess you really didn't pay attention to that much when Bush was in office, though, right?
It's so long ago I can't remember, but I
Right.
know he messed stuff up towards the end. It was a whole. I remember that year was 2008, and I remember. Matter of fact, I do remember. I remember that's when I bought my second house when Bush was in office. Bush was in office. Money was flowing, bro. Like the housing was going up like crazy. People was using the house like an ATM machine. You buy a house today, tomorrow that sucker go up to 10, 20,000. You could take that 10, 20,000 out your house and buy another house. We bought a second home when Bush was in office. We bought two homes because the market was just crazy. I know a lot of people was making a ton of money on houses because it just kept on going up. That's what I was talking about, deregulation. They made it so easy to lend money. They was lending money to everybody that couldn't afford it. And to your
Mm-hmm.
point, what happened was the bubble, it crashed, it blew up, and then how the automakers, everybody was filing for bankruptcy. The banks wasn't giving loans anymore. That was 2008, the recession, the big recession, and that's when I got stuck with the two houses. I couldn't find somebody to rent the other one that would cover my mortgage. And I remember I had to get my father to buy the house because I was like underwater with it and I was losing money trying to cover two houses, and the prices of the houses was just dropping. And that's when Barack came in office, and that's when he had to like basically bail out the banks, bail out everybody, and try to like stabilize everything and basically start from the ground up. But like I said, the first couple of years, first 4 years was tough because he's trying to fix the mess that was created. And then, but I'm saying to myself, 8 years is enough to fix and then grow. So that's to your point. But when Bush was in office, things was skyrocketed. It might not have been for the right reasons, but it was up. Just like when Trump was in office, things were skyrocketed. So honestly, I mean, I understand it's probably gonna bite you in the butt like after, because they're probably doing stuff that they're not supposed to be doing. It's like unsustainable. So I kind of get it, like on the Democrat side, like they're not trying to like destroy the economy by helping a few. But damn it, I'd rather help. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not helping me by helping, the poor. But it's like you want to help the poor. I kind of get it just talking about it, but my pockets hurt, bro, and I need somebody to do something.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, under Trump's administration, I found myself able to go out more. Like now is like I've my body and my mind has gotten so used to. It's like, okay, you know what? I got the house. We got groceries in here. I'm gonna just stay in the house, man. I mean, our outside activities is every now and again, maybe go to a restaurant, or Tuesdays is when we get the discount for the movies. So that's where we're going. But it's just just to have a living outside of just work and going home is just it's becoming real hard.
Yeah.
You got to really look at your. Did I just spend this on gas? Did I really spend this on groceries? Um, and it's depressing. It's depressing.
But what's being done about it? Like, I mean, we talking about just the election, picking someone else, but I mean, I guess we got one more year to decide that, and hopefully there will be a change, or not. It could be a whole another. Yeah, how long Biden had? I mean, he didn't have 8 years, so let me correct that. It's this
For
this is four,
but
and he's going for re-election for the four more. I'm like, what I meant to say is I don't know if I want another 4 years, but I guess your point was he has first 4 years he has to fix the crap, the mess, and then maybe the last 4 years, if he get reelected, you should see the
I
fruits of
don't
his
know.
labor.
I
That's
don't
what
know.
you think.
I don't think
No,
he's getting back in there. But
I mean he is
if we're not
running.
voting, if we're not voting for him, like he don't get in, and Trump goes to jail or he don't get in, who are you gonna who we gonna vote for?
I don't see anybody on the Democrat side because I don't see anybody running for. Nobody's challenging Biden on the Democrat side, so it have to be a Republican. And it's a field of Republic. It's a ton of Republicans that's running, and one of them is from my state, our governor, Santos, Ron DeSantis. He's like a mini Trump. People don't like him, but I don't care. I mean, I think anybody, as long as you're a Republican, I, I'm voting Republican. I just don't know how else to say.
Well,
I don't have one particular one.
you voted for Biden,
I did vote for Biden. Yeah.
and when you voted for Biden, what did you? How did you vote? You voted just everything Democrat.
Yeah. That's usually how I vote. Everything Democrat.
And you didn't even know who the
But
officials are.
nah, I knew. I pay attention. Like I know who's my senators and congressmen and stuff like that. I pay attention to stuff. But you have other stuff that's you don't really know about, like the commissioners and the judges. There's a lot of candidates on there for other positions that's Democrat or Republican. And some of them you gotta do your research because they don't even list it. But I usually pay attention to who's on my thing, my ballot. But this year, I haven't really this election, this cycle, I haven't really been paying attention to. Like, I haven't been watching the news because just to be honest, when Trump was, I don't want this to be about Trump, but when he was in office, he was entertaining as hell, bro. Like, I turn on the TV.
For certain people. I mean, and I didn't feel I felt on edge too much. It's just like he's gonna say something that's gonna piss me off, or he's gonna say something that's gonna like offend me. So
Accident waiting
that's
to happen, bro. Like, I just wanted to
huh?
see. It was like an accident waiting to happen. Like, it's about to
Yeah,
be an accident.
I
Let's
and
watch it.
I didn't want to deal with that. It's almost like listening to him was almost like listening to Kanye West, man. It's like what is he about
I
to say?
like Kanye.
Yeah, and you never was on edge, feeling like what is he gonna
Yeah,
say?
but let's separate the art from the, like. If the man does a good job, like, I don't care what's his vices, like what he personally do. Like we watch sports, right? We listen
Hmm.
to entertainers, artists. It's like, bro, if you knew what they did in their personal life, you probably wouldn't like them or want to listen to their music. I don't look. You're a professional at whatever you do. You're great at what you do. Just do what you're great at. That's so it could benefit us or benefit the country. I don't really necessarily or be entertained by, I don't want to get into your personal business or life. Like, do
Hmm.
what you get paid for. Do your job, do well. If you do well at your job, man,
Yeah, and that's fine, but his is he was doing stuff to the light or saying stuff in the light,
yeah, he's
and that
he's
was just like
it's like, bro,
uncalled
you
for. I think that's
yeah,
why people was like blindsided about how their paychecks were and more offended, and that's why he got out of office. So
look
I'm not saying I disagree with anything you're saying. Like
look
if his guilt or his accusation wasn't brought to the light, I wouldn't be on edge about saying I would vote for him. I'm really shocked that his numbers are as high as they are, and he's being accused of all of this stuff. But that's another topic. But I don't. For me, when the voting time comes, um, I need to figure out who I want to put in, well, who I would vote for, because it's not going to be Biden and it's not going to be Trump.
you know, I remember when Biden was running and had like a couple people, like a nephew, that say, "Yo, I'm not voting for Biden." And then we was upset with him. It was like, how you not gonna vote for Biden? Like, if you don't, like, I'm not voting for Trump either. Like, how you not, like, you if you don't vote for Biden, it's like a vote for Trump. We telling him, it was like, yo, Biden is better than Trump. It's like, he's not a racist. He's whatever. It was like defending Biden. He was like,
And on
Biden do.
top of that, he's got a vice president as a black woman, so it was kind of like a double prize for people that
Yeah, it was like the whole point is like we're defending. And now I see him clearly. Like, why couldn't I see that before? Like, I'm not.
Nah, it was
Biden is
because
not the
people.
worst. He's not the worst person. Like, he's a good. He seemed like a good person on the outside. He seemed like he's not for a lot of attention. He's not gonna call you out in public and do crimes, blatantly crimes like Trump would do. But um, he's old, right? Old as hell. When he walks, it look like he's gonna fall. Like
Oh,
he's
he's done that a
plenty of
couple
times, right?
times.
Yeah. So, but that's not even the that's not a real issue for me. But he just I don't think he connects to me. Like, I don't think he's not, like, his policies is not
So
trickling
what
to me.
made you vote for him then?
It wasn't really about him. It was about voting, not having
Against
Trump back in office.
right.
It was like,
So we
we
got
can't
so
get this man.
blindsided, and that's what most people that didn't vote for him, I believe, is because they wasn't thinking about their pockets. They was thinking about their emotions.
We only have two
Trump is a guy.
choices,
Yeah,
really.
I get it. But now that's why you wasn't thinking about it. That's why I was thinking about it. I was thinking about my emotions. I don't like this guy. I don't like how he
Yeah,
talks. I don't
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
instead of what how his talking or how he's moving is affecting everybody. Because if I would have just like looked past at how he's talking, probably would have just kept
But
it
damn it,
because
let's get your vote right now.
I
Biden,
don't know.
yes,
I can
no, no, no. You know. Biden against Trump right now. Who you voting for?
uh,
Who you voting for? Just be honest. If you vote for Biden, as your friend,
I'm
I
going
ain't
to
gonna
Trump.
defriend you.
I'm
I
going
ain't
to
gonna.
Trump. I'm
You
going
going
to
to Trump?
Trump. I'm
I'm
going
going
to
to
Trump
Trump
only
too.
because
Uh,
uh,
no hesitation for me.
well,
Only because. Go ahead.
Here's the thing. So look, if we would have voted for Trump again, because he did 4 years, right?
Yeah, he did.
He did 4 years. I would still need to find somebody right now because his fourth year will be up.
Right,
You know what I
right. So
mean?
it'll be a new
So
person.
if he would have went straight, in a perfect world, that means I would have had 8 straight years of a good paycheck.
Yeah, yeah. You
So
messed up. You messed that up.
yeah, well, whatever. So we can't cry over spilled milk. We got to do what we're going to do for moving forward. So this is why I said maybe 10, 15 minutes ago, I said, well, I know I'm not voting for Biden. I know I'm not voting for Trump. And I'm going to stand behind that only because how you get that close to almost going to jail and become the president, it would just seem weird, and I'm gonna be like, what the hell did I just do? So let's say worst case scenario, he can't get elected because of his background or whatever. Who we gonna vote for?
That's
You
simple
gotta
for
have the
me.
backup.
Well, it's only going to be two people. So, and we know one of them already. The other one we don't know. We don't know if it's going to be
Right,
Trump. We don't know if it's going to be
right.
Ron DeSantis or Doug Christie, whoever is running, because there's a field of them. There's a lot of them. So whoever, to me, honestly, whoever comes out, it's the it's the policies, it's the approach, and I every that we all, like you said, we grew up, in the black community, the poor black community, thinking Democrats is like our party, like they honestly like, and you don't really understand. You don't watch Blackish, right? Right.
Uh,
So it
well,
was a real quick. It was a scene where the mother, well, the mother. I forgot her real name, but she's a funny comedian lady, and the kids was asking her questions because she was like, she vote Democrat, always vote Democrats, church lady, and it was like, okay, grandma, do you believe in abortion? Like, she's like, nah, I don't believe in abortion. You should never have an abortion. It was like, do you what was the other questions? Like, do you believe in gay marriage? Like, nah, I don't believe in gay marriage. It was like they was asking her stuff that the Republicans support. Like, the Republicans don't believe in abortion. They believe in pro life. They're pro life. So you're not ever, no circumstances, have an abortion. And she believes the same thing. That's a Republican view.
mhm.
Republicans don't believe a man and two men should be married. Like, that's a Republican view. She has the same view. So my point, and it was a TV show. So my point, a lot of poor neighborhoods, a lot of Democrats, supposedly Democrats, they don't even understand that you don't even share all values with the Democrats in office. Like, they don't believe the same things you believe. And I'm not trying to persuade anybody to change from Democrats to Republicans. Just kind of like do your research and understand who you're voting for, and if their policies and stuff benefits you and your family. Because
I,
right now, the Republicans, I might be a Republican. I'm voting Republican. Yeah, I'm pretty
if you
sure.
low down in the if you low down in the tree of income, do you think is affecting who's being elected? Meaning that if you like a cashier at Publix or you working at McDonald's, you think this affecting who's in office? You think their pockets is going to be affected at all?
I don't know. It got levels
Because
to that question. Yeah, I
I
could
mean,
give you an example.
it is. I mean, then again, no, I don't know because
Well,
it's, go ahead.
okay. Give you a real example, and I'm not right. As a lot, I could be passionate about something and be totally wrong. And I remember it was a time I was passionate about something. It was a time when Barack was running, and for president for the first time. I was very passionate, and he was running against the senator that died, McCain, John McCain. And this guy at my job, he was a poor Spanish person because I know he was poor because I know he was on government assistance, and he was saying how he was gonna vote for McCain. And I'm saying like, yo, you an idiot, bro. Like you on government assistance, and McCain don't want people to be on government assistance. He wants to get rid of the government assistance. Barack is trying to give you the government assistance. I'm like, why would you vote for him if you benefiting off of 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 his policy? You're not benefiting off his policies. Like, why would you vote? I'm like, but so I'm saying that to tell you that he was poor and he was on government assistance and he's still voting against someone who supports his own lifestyle.
Hispanics vote Republican.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Most of them.
That's what I was saying.
They.
Was that so? That question was like levels to it because that's what I wanted to say. I didn't want
I
to
used to.
say
Like I
what you
said, if I
said.
don't
Like,
really know
I don't
you,
offend
I'm
anybody,
not
but
gonna talk about politics because I don't want to offend you. I don't want you to offend me. So I'll
yeah,
just keep that out.
and we went there today. Like we went there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I was like, like
Well, it's just. I think it all comes down from where you come from, certain and what their elected officials from their country uh, practice. But back to the original question I asked you. I said, do you think uh, voting Republican or Democrat is affected by somebody low in the income? Like if somebody that's a
I can't even
cashier
answer that,
or
man. I guess you answer
huh?
it because I said there's levels to it. I can't really answer it.
I don't think nobody they're not really thinking about it as much as we are. Only because if I'm making 10
Minimum wage, whatever.
minimum wage, whatever your minimum wage is, and I get public assistance and all this other stuff. A lot of times those people don't really get affected too much because they're already getting public assistance.
They're
So if
probably not
I'm
even
getting,
voting.
even if they are, so like for me, when I just started working and I'm making like $10 here, $12 there, whatever job I was making, um, I'm already not making that much money. So who cares if I get a Republican in office or not? I'm gonna go with what the crowd is going for. So when we came up in New York and in our area, everybody voted Democrat. I was like, oh, he's Democrat. He looks like he's honest. He looks like he's cool. It's the same thing with Clinton. It's like, oh, that's a cool guy. He's kissing black babies, playing saxophone. Yeah, that's the guy to go for. That's what I'm gonna go for. Just Bush, he just looked like like Bush. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to offend anybody, but just to us. I'm talking about for
Real
us.
quick, Bush was a guy you could go have a beer with. Like that's how he looked.
Yeah, it wasn't one of those. And then on top of that is the way the media portrayed, like especially when the the World Trade incident, he was at a school, just making his rounds, and he's reading a book, and it's like, bro, the planes just got hit, man. What we gonna do? Let me finish this book. We up to the good part, but at the end, yeah, not to like piss off Bush fans. I know what he was doing. He wasn't trying to make a scene.
In panic. He was
In
in
panic. He was trying
which was
to.
very cool if you
It
really think
was
about it.
cool, but read the book faster, bro. Hey, I gotta go.
Yeah, we don't know how long it took him after that was just a clip, but
Yeah, but still, you gotta. I guess I don't know. Is no right or wrong way to react to that. I guess in his offense, because if somebody's leaning in my ear, hey, we gotta go. They just hit the planes. Oh, word. If then their eyes look up, the kids is gonna panic or the parents or whatever. So, I don't want to go backwards like that. But the original question, like I said, the poor or the low class, I should say, lower class population, they don't see the urgency, or they're probably not feeling as much because they're getting the public assistance, they're getting the food stamps. you know, as long as they getting those things to help them out, how are they gonna? How is that really affecting them?
But do they participate? Like they just get in there, they're comfortable.
It's a
They feel like it's always going to be there, no matter the president. Honestly,
right,
we have Republican president, and they still get their food stamps and stuff.
right. And honestly, when I was not making that much, and I wasn't probably voting like I probably should, my pocket stayed the same. But now it only affects middle class
Yeah,
and the rich,
right,
And right now we're clearly affected
right.
by all of this, and that's why you're so frustrated. You're like, you know what, Trump, you can say whatever you want.
Moved up in the classes, man.
Yeah, it's
we
like
feel it.
And make you say like, maybe I should take my ass back.
It ain't working out.
Yeah,
Should have $1,400. That might drop me a couple classes right there. $1,400 of what, bro? Like that's kind of ridiculous. But we'll figure it out. And positive thinking, glass half full. We'll get through whatever. I just honestly, I've never spent this much like in groceries. So, and like you said, the gas. I don't have a gas car, but the gas station, people filling up a lot more. And I had people tell me like, "Yo, they days off, just like what you said. They're not going anywhere. It's like they're doing a bare minimum, going to work and coming home because it's so expensive to drive their car."
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of making those decisions because of the prices. Like I never thought I would be, making decisions based off the price of gas or the price of groceries. Like, should I eat this or should I not eat that because of the cost? But it is ridiculous, and something everybody have to do something as far as just at least pay attention to your finances. I guess that's the main point.
Is this going to be your first time really paying attention to the elections, or have you always really paid attention to what they believe in and they thought?
When in 2008, when Barack ran for office, he got me excited to pay attention. So right around 2007, whatever, that's when I was paying attention. Actually, around 2007, I thought I was a Republican because I used to listen to a AM station. I think it was Sean Hannity at the time. I didn't know who he was, but he's a really diehard Republican, like conservative. Like, so I was listening to him. I didn't know any better. So it's not my chance because it's not my first time. But I did take a break after Trump because he exhausted me to the point where I don't want to watch any more news. It's ridiculous now, the news.
Yeah. For me, I wasn't really paying attention because I thought everybody what I don't like about politics is like I feel like they say what they think the crowd wants to hear.
Yeah, politics. That's why it's called politics.
Yeah, no, but I want to see. I want the truth. I don't want to hear. I want the truth, and what's going to help. Not what. And then, so with Barack, not to make this another race thing, we never had a black man in office, so he was going to get the black card vote regardless.
Yeah.
But
on couldn't win without that though. But go ahead. Huh? Well, he couldn't win without. He couldn't. I mean, he couldn't win with only that. That's what I wanted.
And he didn't.
Right.
He wasn't just a black official. He was an educated one. What he said made sense. So after Barack, Barack had me from his approach, his speak, his race.
Yeah.
It's Barack. I'm good. And then after that, it was Trump. And I'm like, the only thing I will say about Trump, out of everybody, even Barack included, I believed him. I believe anything he said because it was from the heart. It wasn't sugarcoated. Everything
That's what I'm
was
trying to
good.
say, bro.
So,
He's on.
but we can't get Barack back in, and I don't think Trump can get back in. I don't think it's going to happen. If it does, I have lost all credibility about this country and how we run things, because it's just like you get accused of all that shit and you still give this man a chance. That
But
means
that
that
doesn't.
means we're all full of shit, because
Yeah, but
I
we
could do
are
any,
already.
huh?
You don't need Trump to get reelected to validate that. Like that's how
Yeah,
the
but
country
what?
is.
Yeah, but when are we gonna make changes? When are we gonna move
Never.
in a
Like
better?
it's always before and after Trump. It's been like that. Like how many of black people go to jail for like petty crimes, and then you could go to a white college and they doing the same thing, selling and using drugs, and they're living life. It's like
Are you
people we
you?
get punished. It's just America, bro.
You
Like
know
we
my
don't
new
need.
shit now. I don't want to change the subject too much, but my new shit is American Greed, bro. Did I tell you about it?
Nah, is
American
that a
Greed.
show?
Oh, it's yeah,
I'm
MSNBC.
looking
Watch
for a
that shit.
show.
It's more of
MSNBC. That's a news channel, right?
yes. MSNBC is usually on late night, like 8, 9 o'clock. You can see 1 or 2 episodes, or if you got Peacock, you can binge watch all them episodes.
So it's called
Basically,
American Greed, and it's a real
American Greed.
show. It's
It's
not
a
like
real show.
a
No, it's nothing
documentary.
made up. Everything is real. It's just basically a recap on what that person did. Um, there was one about remember the Susu? You ever heard of the Susu? You probably never heard of it, but our parents did. I remember coming
We
up.
call it something different, but when they put
Yeah,
money towards like
right,
to hold your money for you,
right,
okay, yeah, the susu, yeah.
right. And
We
then
call it the partner, but
right
a lot of
when
people,
your turn comes, you'll get the pot or whatever.
yeah, yeah. They was talking
So
about that.
yes, they had one, but there was,
Yeah,
or like, hey, you do this, your money's gonna come, and it was put a fictitious person that got paid out, and they was they was
like
keeping all the money.
the pyramid scheme.
Yeah, the pyramid scheme. But there's a bunch of them up there, man. They had, I think, one up there for Bernie Madoff. They had a bunch of stuff, bro. And it's just, it's not. I only brought this up because, not only our elected officials do scams. This is a bunch of people just doing shit, man. Just
Yeah,
like
it's like they
scamming
call
people
it
out of money,
white collar crimes,
white
and
collar crime.
they're
And there's,
worse than
yeah,
the crimes in the hood.
but
Like,
here's a kicker to it. They scamming people out of all this money, and then you'll have a person down the street that went to jail for having uh uh
stole a
10
bag of
bags of
chips or
10
something,
bags of
whatever it
weeds,
is.
10
Yeah,
bag of weed, and went to jail for 5 years or some shit like
yeah,
that. And then you
yeah.
got this person that scammed you out of $1 million, only went to jail for three.
Right. Or probably don't even get caught.
Or go to jail for probation.
And the jail that they probably go to is probably some kind
But
of,
white collar jail. It's
yeah,
nothing. No, not
like a
general
group home or
population,
something.
or
Yeah.
yeah, or yeah.
Like what was a
So
lady named Martha Stewart for
right,
inside the pyramid thing?
she
Like,
she
bro,
got she got a house arrest.
and where little Kim went. Like, what the hell, bro? Like,
Yeah. So yeah, it's you could binge watch it if you got Peacock. Like I said, you could like read which one you want to see, because some of them you'd be like, but other ones it kind of relates and hits home. You might have been affected or almost got affected by it, and it's interesting. Um, I wanted to close on something because I think we covered pretty much everything.
yeah, man.
Um, yesterday,
Yeah.
coming home from work, first day I ever felt old, bro. I pull up to my house, and you got like 10, 10 teenagers between the ages of 8 and like 15 or 16. They all spread out. Remind us when we was on the block playing basketball. These guys are spread out on two on each driveway playing football or throwing the ball.
Yeah.
And cursing better than me, bro. And I'm like, I pull it up to my drive. First of all, I have to pull slow because two of them was on my driveway, and they all spread out. And I like to back in my driveway. I don't like to just pull forward because when I'm ready to go, I just want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like driving slow. They trying to figure out which way I'm going. I finally get on the driveway. They looking, but they still just same activity. I ain't their parent. They don't care. Yo, motherfucker, throw the ball. Fuck, what the fuck? Nigga. Like loud. I'm like, it's so I wanted to say, stop.
Yeah.
You sound ridiculous and you're a little kid. And I was like, let me mind my business for what these little kids say, yo, fuck you. Now I gotta make a life decision. Should I do something about you just saying fuck me? So you know what? Let me mind my business. I pulled up, and the first thought, because usually I just get in my house, mind my business, go inside, do my activities. I said, let me take this opportunity to clean my car because the last thing I want is to hear that football hit my car. And now I'm really gonna be mad. But the point I'm making is that I had to make a decision that should I tell him to stop cursing so much or should I mind my business? I mind my business because I was just like thinking when I was on the block, I sounded exactly like them. I sounded exactly like them. So it's just like, man, damn, did I sound that bad? And I'm pretty sure that they went down the street from their families so they could sound and and say whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like the circle of life, man. I couldn't. I was just like a little. I thought it was just funny because I just felt old. Like you don't have to say, you don't have to say all that. But
Yeah.
it was interesting, man. You got anybody in front of your house that you just want to say something to, but you don't?
Nah, I mean, I could definitely relate because we were just basically the same age, and the other day we have some new people moved in our block too. Like we have new neighbors, but they're renting, and the kids were like, we live in a cul-de-sac, so it's like a dead end circle, and
Mm.
they was using it like there was in the like I had to drive around them. There was like nobody uses it, so it was like, but they was used. They just moved in, and the kids was playing. And then my other neighbor texted me. He was like, "I see you have new neighbors." I was like, "Yeah, man. I think I'm getting old because my ring camera went off, and it was at the side of my yard, side of my running side of my house. And all I'm thinking, man, what if they hit a pipe or break a window?" So like, I just felt old, like you. I felt like, remember we used
Yeah.
to have a basketball right in front of my house. We had a basketball court on Hendricks in Brooklyn, New York, and we had some neighbors opposite of the or adjacent to the hoop, some houses there with an old lady. She used to always be like, "Yo, literally, get off my yard." If the ball rolled into her porch, she was always in the window. Get off my yard! Get off my yard! That's a real thing. There was a lady who used to always say that. I'm not saying I'm the lady now, but in my mind, I'm like, get off my yard, bro. It's
Yeah,
like,
and then on top of it, I got called sir yesterday, man. I was like, what the
well,
fuck, man?
it's reality, bro.
Huh?
We're
Yeah,
we're
but because the ball rolled over to my grass or whatever. Sorry, sir. I'm
yeah.
like, okay.
For the serve, I don't know if I ever got the serve, but I've got OG on the basketball court. I'm like, what? I'm the OG now?
You got gray hair on your face.
OG? I don't feel like an OG,
You
man. Like I
don't.
don't
Yeah, I don't
feel
think you're an OG, but you got gray hair in your face. And
like,
if I'm a kid, you're OG.
yeah, that's the serve to me. That's the same thing.
And
So
I probably got it too because I don't have that much gray hairs. I got one or two here and there, and I've heard a young girl that works at my job, well, another coworker said you should cut that. So I'm gonna cut it for. It's gonna grow right back. So, but yeah, man, it was a depressing moment yesterday for me because I had to make a decision. Hey, get off my lawn.
bro.
Oh,
Like,
don't let that ball hit my car because that's exactly what I was doing. I backed it up as far as I could, and I just was cleaning out my car, just waiting for that shit to hit my car. And
it's
like
a,
maybe 10, 15 minutes later, they stopped. But
it's a new
it was it,
reality, man.
yeah.
Yeah,
But let's shut it down, get off this bus. But I don't know. For me, in closing, I think I'm on the Republican bandwagon too, especially this next go round because I'm really this is when I'm gonna really be paying attention. Because like I said before this, I by default I went with Barack. Politics to me, maybe because I was still young, I didn't pay attention. All of those debates and stuff, I thought it was, it wasn't going to really affect me. And so to speak, it didn't because I wasn't doing big things. I was still living in an apartment. Um, I wasn't making that much. But when you start making more money, moving up, it does affect you. If you're not in middle class, if you're not rich, it's probably not going to affect you that much without you really noticing it.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
Because
That's true.
you're gonna get your public assistance. It was only when you said what you said with I think it was with Christy, where you was like arguing with your old coworker, saying, "Well, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
Barack is trying to make sure you keep your benefits. The
yeah,
guy that you're voting for is going to take them away."
yeah.
So
Charles
we
McCain.
don't know how much it would have affected his life and his future votes because he got Barack, and Barack made sure he kept everything. So I'm really, I'm really, and I know you and everybody else in this world is really waiting for this next election because we're in a recession, man. It's
Yeah, damn
affecting
right.
everybody in every possible way. It's ridiculous. I mean, even at work, it's not as busy as it was,
Yeah, damn
and
right,
we
man.
we we have we have the material. I mean, we have the product to
The supply.
sell,
Yeah,
and nobody wants to buy it.
no
I
demand.
mean, I'm pretty sure at the supermarket, this is affecting them too. I mean, they probably have more than enough display to sell, but you got to make that decision. Hey, I want
Same
to buy
thing.
this. Do I have? Can I buy this?
Yeah, yeah. Nah, big companies making big decisions. Same thing with my job. They're doing a restructure and everything. It's I think they said it was expected to make 59 million for the year, but they're not making close to that, maybe around 50. So it's like they're making hard choices. But to be honest, like my closing real quick, wrap it up before we get off the bus. Um, I didn't want it to go. I didn't expect our conversation to go to the politics of who you're going to vote for. Even when you close on like the election, which politicians, but like
But that's the
it
reality, though.
that's the reality. But it was about inflation, like my grocery bill basically, and I want to close with my grocery bill and encourage because I believe I'm a wise man. Like we're getting up there in age. I believe I'm smart enough to make, you know, good decisions. Like so me not knowing what my grocery bill and you don't know. And you're a wise man, you're smart enough to know. And I just did this and you haven't did it is just analyze how much you actually paying on your grocery. Like see the number. And that's what I'm encouraging whoever's listening to do is just sit down. It's very easy to do. Review your account, look at your account, open your bank app or whatever, and see how many times which grocery store you went to. Publix. Okay, see how much times I went to Publix for the week, for the month, and see how much you actually spent on grocery. Just make that total, see what you're spending on grocery. And if that grocery bill is more than your mortgage or your rent, we probably have to make some life decisions, and it shouldn't be. And we're in a crisis, and it's not just grocery bills.
See, but I don't know. I don't want to keep spinning it on because I know we said this. But what are you going to do, man? The kids got to eat. You got to eat, and then you and your family are doing
I ain't gonna eat.
everything.
I ain't gonna eat. I'm gonna be the one to not
Yeah,
eat. I ain't gonna eat.
Well, that's a man's decision. They're gonna
Yeah,
sacrifice for their family. Hats off to you.
bro, it's ridiculous.
You ain't gonna you gonna die, bro, if you don't eat.
I'm gonna take my
But your
chance.
wife, your wife is doing her part. He says
Well,
that's
my
main
wife
job.
eats the least out of all of us. Like she's one of those people. Like she likes to drink her meals. Like during the week. All right, I work at night, so I'm Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I'm home, and usually those days I'm home. We eat good, and the kids eat good every night. But my wife, because I'm not home Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, she eats by herself, so she don't have to cook a meal because I'm not home, right? So she likes to say she drinks her meal. She likes to make one of those shakes or whatever. She go to bed, she's fine. She don't eat that much anyway. So not to say that's expensive or not, I haven't evaluated that. 'Cause certain things my wife buys, I'm like, okay, you don't have to cut it out, but those bottles of wines, that might be like $20, $30 a trip. You know what I'm saying? You might want to revisit if that wine is necessary. There's certain things that I know I could cut out
Yeah, but
that I could
you
survive.
can't tell her to take that away because that's her vice. She's already sacrificed and not eating.
I'm not. I'm the one that's gonna sacrifice. I'm not asking anybody to sacrifice. I'm not asking her to stop her wine drinking. I know if I was drinking a bottle of wine, I ain't drinking that sucker anymore. It's stuff that I love that I'm not gonna do. Like so, because I could do without. Let's try it. I'm not gonna continue to live like this, bro. Like I'm not. If it means I'm not going to my savings every week because of my grocery. Like how? Why are we spending $1,400 a month on grocery? That doesn't make no sense. And I wish
Hmm.
the government. That's why we got over to the politics because it's our government officials that's in charge of to get this inflation thing, controlled, and they're not doing a good job, and that's why we got into the politics and who we're gonna elect. Because Biden is not doing a good job with that. He's not helping the middle class like he needs to, and I don't know what he's supposed to do, but it's not working. So
So, in closing, you're saying we got to pay attention to what we're spending on our food consumptions and just all around bills. See how we can manage that if we can
sacrifice
maintain that.
because the government ain't
Yeah, we
helping us,
definitely
bro.
got to say. Yeah, until we get the next person office, I guess we need to do two things: pay attention to what we're spending, and pay attention to who's being elected or who's running, so we can make the right
Yeah.
pick.
And
Hopefully,
next week, I mean, I would love for everybody to do it, but next week, our next show, I want you to tell me how much you spend on your grocery bill. I know you a family of two, so we could do the math, but I need you to analyze your bill. And next show, I need you to lead off with before we go into our next topic. I just want to know, viewers want to know, like for a family of two, how much
what
are
is
you
she
spending?
spending? Because I don't spend it.
Yeah,
I
how much
told
she
you,
spending? Let's get
I
her on the
went to the
show if you want.
store. Oh, you know what's
What?
crazy? You know what's crazy? I'm gonna tell you this real quick and get closer. Every time she goes grocery shopping, like for me, whenever I buy anything, I buy my stuff, take the receipt, stuff out, throw it away, or keep the receipt if I'm going to return it. Every time she buys groceries, she leaves receipt out, visible, spread out. And I always gotta ask myself, did she leave that shit for me to see? That's your thing. That's not mine. I don't pay the mortgage and say here's a receipt. Leave it out. But now that you say that, it's funny because I'm like, that shit probably hurt every time she go and she gotta leave it out as a
Man,
reminder.
we probably should have had her on the show just for like a segment or two, just to talk about it. That would have been a
She
nice perspective if
she
she's the one
would
paying it.
she will jump on if I ask her to jump on, but I don't know yet.
Yeah, I get it,
It's
but
the same
that
thing
would.
with if you just get Terry up there too. She ain't gonna want to do that shit.
Yeah, there was something else I wanted to talk about, but it was totally left. It was totally different, but and it was like it's a question. I'm not gonna ask. Maybe I ask off the air. Maybe we'll talk about it for our next episode because we could spin off into another episode. And I don't want to start. Let's get off the bus. Let's get off the bus, man. I'll
All
text
right,
you off air
man.
and maybe we'll see if it's a good topic or not. But we'll get off the bus, man.
All right, this is our stuff. Peace.
All right, man, off the bus.